Good afternoon. My name is Tennille Gibson, and I will be doing a report on why recess isn't just for fun. Thank you. How many of you remember your childhood recess? Just take a minute and think back. Close your eyes if you'd like. Picture yourself, maybe 7 or 8 years old, sitting in a classroom, a teacher's voice in the background, and the sunlight just starting to pour through the window. You're fidgeting, barely able to keep still, and then finally the bell rings. It's recess. I'm 46 years old now, and I can still remember those memories as clear as day. Some memories just stick with you. Even now, decades later, I can still remember that smell of the grass when they would cut it outside on the playground. I can remember the breeze coming through the windows. I can hear the shouts and the laughter whenever I was sitting in class and the other kids were playing on the playground. It didn't matter how tired I was. It didn't matter how restless I was. I knew for the next 20 or 30 minutes on recess, I could just be me, a kid. Recess was its own little world, separate from rules and routines of the classroom. I remember plain as day having recess with the other kids. I liked to run races, so it was usually me running, and it was usually boys versus girls. It was really fun, so I beat the boys quite often. I would just push myself, go faster, go faster. There was a real sense of pride in winning. But honestly, it wasn't even about that. It was about the motion, the movement, and pushing myself to the line, win or lose. Those races were just one piece of the puzzle. I remember the games of soccer where we'd pick teams, and all of the drama and the anticipation that comes with that. You'd never wanted to be picked last. It didn't matter if you were the best player or there just for fun. That was the moment you were holding your breath. Who's going to pick me? I'm going to be picked last. Will they pick me? It was that feeling when you got picked, you actually belonged, and it was something that I feel every child deserves. When we are not running or playing soccer, there was always tetherball. You remember? Big pole, string with a ball attached to it. I can still remember the line wrapping around the pole and people counting 1, 2, 3, like how it builds up. And then everybody waiting in line, eyeing up the competition. I wonder who I'm going to have to play. Who can I beat? It didn't matter if you were going up against the champ, you were going up against somebody else. You wanted to win and you wanted to be the best. Then there were swings, long, crazy arcs with these chains. You sit on this plastic thing and you can just swing back and forth. And you might actually ask your friends, you want to see if we can jump off midair? Then there comes the monkey bars and all that comes with that. That was climbing and rough and tumble, and you always, always got a scraped knee, scraped elbow, or something from that. What I remember the most, though, is how everyone fit in somewhere. It didn't matter if you were loud, like me, or quiet, shy, athletic, the oldest in the grade or the youngest. I was also the youngest in the grade. Recess had room for everyone. If you didn't want to compete, that's okay. You could just hang out and talk. You can invent your own games. Coming up with your own games and your own rules was some of the most fun. You didn't want to go over the edge. If you just wanted to go sit and daydream, that's fine too. There was always something to do on recess. Recess wasn't always perfect. I remember whenever teachers would take recess away. It was because the whole class was doing something they shouldn't be doing, or we got in trouble from the sub leaving a bad note. It didn't matter. We all had to pay the price. We called it riding the curb. We rode the curb and had to watch all the other kids play and have fun, and it was a little bit of a torture device. It was horrible because you would just sit and wait long hours. When am I going to have recess? When can I go burn off some of this energy? But teachers feel like it's a good punishment. But they don't know that it can make us better students. As a kid, I didn't have the words to explain why recess mattered so much. I just knew that it did. Now, as an adult, I know there's a science behind all these things that we do. Studies have shown that recess isn't just a break. It's a critical part of childhood development. A 2018 study from the Voice of Play found that when kids get regular recess, they develop important social skills, problem-solving skills, and cognitive abilities that help them break free in the classroom and become better students. It's not just about blowing off steam. It's also about learning how to navigate your world. Think about it. Whenever you're on the playground, you learn how to make friends, how to share, how to work as a team, and how to settle your arguments. You learn what it feels like to win and to lose, to lead and to follow. You figure out how to compromise, how to pick yourself up when you fall, and literally how to try again. These are life skills, not just skills for the playground. The American Academy of Pediatrics backs this up. They have found that kids who get regular recess not only have better grades and higher test scores, they're also better focused in class. They're more attentive, more engaged, and more likely to understand what the teacher is saying. That's partly because physical activity increases blood flow and oxygen to the brain, which makes it easier to learn. The American Heart Association points out that movement and exercise during recess helps with everything from memory to mood. It's especially important for kids who struggle to sit still or pay attention during lessons. They need recess. I have seen it myself. I have been in class with people who just sit and look at the clock, fidgeting, waiting to go outside. Recess gives them that goal. It gives them something to look forward to. According to the National Institute of Health, attendance is actually higher when recess is part of the daily routine. Some kids come to school just for recess. Without it, they'd have a much harder time making it throughout the day. Let's not forget about stress. I learned this. I did not know that play was a great stress reliever. Kids get stressed out just like we do. And William Massey, a journalist for The Conversation, says that recess helps relieve childhood stress. When stress levels get high, kids can become withdrawn, distracted, and hyperactive. Does that sound familiar, parents? They might act out, not because they're bad, but because they have energy and emotions they just don't know how to deal with or get out. Massey also noted that repetitive play, like swinging and chase and jumping rope, actually reduces stress and helps restore higher brain function. You don't have to just keep going, and do everything. That the shy kids that weren't loud like me also could get just as much fulfillment and engagement in recess. And they got all of the physical and emotional benefits too. The outgoing kids like me, it was a chance to practice our social skills. We learned how to read people and take social cues. All right, who remembers playing Red Rover? Red Rover, come on over. Who remembers playing kickball? Who remembers picking the teams? Did you want to be the one that picked the team, or did you want to be the one that got picked? It was really nerve-wracking as a child, thinking, am I going to be picked? Am I going to be picked? And then when you finally get picked, it's this exuberation and this feeling. And then when your team wins, that was even the best. Then, on the other hand, if your team lost, we always would think of a way to come back. How can I make this better? And that's the best part about recess. We also learned empathy, how to include others, and how to settle our disagreements. We learned how to be fair. We learned how to trust people on the playground. We learned patience. Perseverance is the biggest thing that I learned on the playground. Looking back, I'm really struck with how much recess shaped my life, not just as a student, but as a person. I made friends on recess. I learned how to make games up in my head. I learned how to take risks. I learned how to be a part of a team. I learned simple joys in life. And yet now I see schools cutting recess to make room for more academics, more testing. We do not need more testing. We need more movement. We need more engagement of the minds. And I think that's where teachers are forgetting that we need all of this for our physical and mental development. While we take recess away, kids suffer. They do not learn how to practice their kindness and their courage and how to get along with others. We're taking away the joy from the wins and the celebration from us learning something from our losses. So what can we do? First of all, we can remember our own childhoods. We can remember what it felt like to achieve these goals, to get picked, and the exuberation that we all felt. Secondly, we as parents, we can speak up for recess. We can support teachers in helping them design a classroom around play. We can help them and tell them that their decisions actually do matter. We can back our teachers and help them and build a symbiotic relationship with them. Thirdly, practice what you preach. If you want to see your kids play, go outside and play. It's okay to sometimes act like a kid. It's okay to jump rope. So if you see some kids on the playground, maybe go talk to them, say hi, swing on the swings, but only if you're a parent, because if you're single, you look like a creepy. Thanks. Hope you all enjoyed this presentation.